As the chick explored, a soft wind rustled the leaves above, creating a gentle breeze that whispered secrets through the trees. The little chick, captivated by the sound, stopped in his tracks and turned toward the whispering trees, his eyes wide with wonder. He had never heard anything like it before. But the chick couldn't help but feel a little scared. Was he lost? Would he ever see his family again? Just then, he felt a gentle nudge on his back. It was the elephant, and as he looked up, he saw the most beautiful sight. The elephant, sensing the chick's fascination, reached out with its trunk and gently touched the chick's back, as if to say, "Come on, little one. I know it's scary, but you can do it." And with that, the chick was off and running, chasing after the sound of the whispering trees. He ran and he ran until he couldn't hear the elephant or the rustling leaves anymore. And then he turned around and went back the way he came. All around him, the jungle was alive with the sound of birds, the buzzing of insects, and the distant roar of a waterfall. The deeper the chick ventured into the forest, the more he felt like time had stopped. As he walked, butterflies froze mid-flight, their wings painted across the sky like living jewels. A squirrel sat perched on a branch, its tail still, its eyes sparkling with otherworldly light. Even the babbling brook became a mirror, reflecting the stillness of the ancient woods. The trees themselves seemed to lean in, their branches forming a canopy above him, the leaves rustling softly as if whispering secrets only they knew. The air grew heavy with the scent of pine and the sound of his own breathing. And as he approached it, the trees began to whisper louder, their voices now a chorus, their branches swaying in a rhythm that echoed the beating of his heart. With a deep breath, he stepped into the unknown, the whispers growing louder, their meaning clearer. He stopped. In the distance, he saw a clearing. What secrets, he wondered, are they hiding in the clearing? What wonders or horrors awaited him there? A little chick, unafraid and filled with childlike curiosity, skipped merrily along the path. His yellow feathers glowed in the soft light that filtered through the leaves overhead. He hopped over fallen logs, each one a stepping stone on his journey of discovery. For this little chick, every day was an adventure, and he embraced it with open wings and a song in his heart. And as he explored, he noticed tiny wonders everywhere around him. A ladybug resting on a leaf, a spider spinning a delicate web, a family of rabbits watching him with tilted heads. The chick, with his heart full of joy, continued to skip and explore, unafraid of the world around him. Share this story with them and let their imagination take flight. Do you know a little chick who's full of joy and curiosity? As the sun began its slow descent, painting the sky in hues of lavender and rose, the chick realized he had wandered far from the elephant. He stopped and peeped softly, hoping for a response. And there, in the distance, he heard the familiar sound of an elephant trumpet. Relieved and overjoyed, the chick ran toward the sound, his heart pounding with anticipation. The chick's little feet finally hit the soft earth where the elephant was standing. He looked back and saw the setting sun reflected in the elephant's wise old eyes. The elephant was returning, the chick's tiny legs carrying him as fast as they could over the rough terrain, jumping over sticks and stones, dodging thorns and leaves, all in a desperate attempt to get closer to the elephant. He didn't want to be a burden to the elephant, but the thought of being separated from his mother for so long filled him with a deep sense of sadness. As he approached the elephant, he noticed something new. The roots of the giant tree seemed to be glowing, and from its center, a golden clock began to chime. So he sat down on a nearby rock and watched. As the melody filled his ears, he felt a deep sadness, a longing for a time when the world was full of magic and wonder. Its melody was soft and sweet, like the tinkling of a tiny bell, and it echoed through the silent forest. The elephant, hearing the chime, closed its eyes and swayed gently, as if listening to a long-forgotten memory. He knew that this moment would end soon, that the clock's chime would fade and the elephant would disappear. When the chime finally stopped, the elephant opened its eyes and trumpeted loudly. Then it turned and walked away, disappearing into the tall grass. He sat there for a long time, the sound of the jungle slowly fading away until all he could hear was the beating of his own heart. As he approached the elephant, he noticed something new. The roots of the giant tree seemed to be glowing, and from its center, a golden clock began to chime. So he sat down on a nearby rock and watched. As the melody filled his ears, he felt a deep sadness, a longing for a time when the world was full of magic and wonder. Its melody was soft and sweet, like the tinkling of a tiny bell, and it echoed through the silent forest. The elephant, hearing the chime, closed its eyes and swayed gently, as if listening to a long-forgotten memory. He knew that this moment would end soon, that the clock's chime would fade and the elephant would disappear. When the chime finally stopped, the elephant opened its eyes and trumpeted loudly. Then it turned and walked away, disappearing into the tall grass. He sat there for a long time, the sound of the jungle slowly fading away until all he could hear was the beating of his own heart. When the last note faded away, the chick, filled with wonder, looked up at the elephant and let out a soft peep. The elephant opened one eye and smiled. Its gaze was filled with kindness and wisdom, and the chick felt a connection to the ancient being. It took a step back and let out a trumpet call that echoed through the trees. The elephants swayed to the music, their tusks gleaming in the sunlight. The elephants, with their deep connection to the earth and the forest, had become the chick's guardians, protecting it and teaching it the ways of the wild. They danced with the grace and power of the giants. Their steps shaking the ground beneath their feet. Other elephants emerged from the forest, drawn to the sound of the chick's song. They gathered around, their eyes twinkling with amusement. The chick, perched atop the elephant's head, sang out again, its voice ringing with newfound confidence. And as the sun dipped below the horizon, the chick knew it had found its family. And so, as the stars began to twinkle in the velvet sky, the chick nestled beside the elephant, feeling safe and loved. The forest, once again, filled with the sounds of life, the whispering leaves, the babbling brook, and the gentle chime of the golden clock. The chick drifted off to sleep, his dreams filled with the magic of the ancient trees and the wonders of the whispering woods. As the night wore on, the little chick's breathing grew slower and more regular. The elephant, sensing his companion's drowsiness, shifted slightly, his trunk curling around the chick to keep him warm. In the distance, a pack of wolves howled at the moon, their haunting melody echoing through the silent trees. But here, in this little clearing, there was only peace, the gentle rhythm of the forest lullaby, the soft rustle of leaves, and the distant hoot of an owl, all combined to create a symphony of sound that lulled the chick into a deep slumber. And as the first rays of sunlight peeked through the canopy above, the chick, still nestled in a crook of the elephant's trunk, stirred and let out a tiny chirp.